Hey, good morning, everybody. We're about to get started. If I could just get a quick sound check in the chat. Hi, good morning, Formon. This is actually Bo. I'm filling in for Jose today. Go. Hello, everybody. And we have 10 seconds till we get started. How is everybody? Hey, Paul. Good morning. And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you may be. We're doing the get-together trading session today for a short-term trading. Hi, good morning, Miguel. Good morning, Paul, Herman, everybody else joining us live. Please just let me know that the chat is working okay and that the background music. Yes, you are correct. There we go. Sorry, I thought I clicked that one. There we go. We're all good on that. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're doing the get-together trading session, the short-term get-together trading session. Before we get started, as usual, the disclaimer. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our product. Okay, guys, now that we got that out of the way and it looks like sound is good, let's go ahead and open up TradeStation. Let's get our workspace open here with the climates. Okay. All righty. Lots of action today, as we see here. Okay, so we got a couple alerts. So for any of you that are joining us for the first time, so there's a couple of things that I just want to go over briefly before we get started with the session today. So as you see here, this is our radar screen on TradeStation. We have the workspace open where we are looking for basically these golden alerts that you see here, where it says either a near sensible long, near sensible short. We're going to try to avoid the near hopeful or any hopeful climates because again, that implies hope in those trades, and we're trying to do very mechanical trading, very rule-based trading, where we take trades that make sense as opposed to just hoping that they work out. That being said, the other thing that we want to match together with the climate is whether it's a confirmed or an unconfirmed climate. And as we see here on these two markets, crude oil and Q, we have an unconfirmed climate. Even though it says near sensible long, we have an unconfirmed climate. So what does that mean? That just means we skip and look for the next one. All right. That being said, it looks like we do have one confirmed climate here that I just saw it flashing on TY. Unfortunately, as you see here, the ATR spread is already in the negative. Let's go ahead and open it just in case something develops. Let's go ahead and open TY. It's the 10-year note. And see if there's any opportunities that it gives us. At the same time, we see another alert flashing from the Dow Jones. Okay. All right. So, and this is kind of as expected. As we saw, even as that alert was coming in, the 10-year note was already kind of shooting a little bit above the, and actually I just realized this is on the 60-minute. Let's go ahead and change this real quick on the 60-minute time frame. Okay. We were looking for a confirmed long, but unfortunately we do not. We have a confirmation, but as you see, it's already a little bit below the moving average on the 60-minute time frame. All right, that being said, let's just quickly go over to that. Here we go. We do have a confirmation on ES. And on top of that, we do have a confirmation on the Dow Jones. However, we have a hopeful short climate. So the first one we're going to look at is ES. All right, let's go ahead and open ES and see what do we have there. All right, while that's opening, hope everybody that celebrated Father's Day had a good Father's Day this weekend. Hope everybody's doing okay. Let's go ahead and open up, and happy belated Father's Day to all the dads that are watching us today. Okay, so what do we have here? 31.3205 is the moving average. Price is at 31.3150 and 75. So we actually do have a trade here. 31.3225 is the bottom of this UFO, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, 31.3550. Okay, 31.3550 to 31.3225. Yep. Okay, and we have a confirmed climate, 2 out of typically 5. So we do actually have permission to enter and execute this trade, which is very fun because we're just getting started and it looks like, all right, let's just go in 31.3225, which is the top of this UFO. It did fill me in with one contract. Let's just change this real quick. Attach the OSO for the next time. Let's do an entry exit bracket, 2 limit, 1 stop. I'm not sure why it didn't already come in here. So as we know, the moving average, the stop needs to be placed above this UFO, which is 31.3550. So that's 325 for the total risk there. Moving the target one is 31.29. And now for the final target, this kind of came in very fast at us. So let's see what's going on here. The bottom of this, the top of this green UFO, which we have here. Let's just do a quick data reload. We place the trade on there, and our final target will be at 31.2075. So 31.2075 would be our final target. 31.2075. Okay. All right. Miguel, yes, for the ES, because it's a much more liquid market than the 10-year note, we do use the 15-minute climate. Now, something that comes into mind as this is still kind of developing, right? We're looking at 31.35. Let me just make sure I didn't make a mistake here. I believe this is okay. No, it should be 31.35.75. So another tick above 350 to 350. All right. Something else that kind of comes into mind is, we did get execution very quickly on this trade, right? It was right in front of us. This UFO was right in front of us as we started the session. I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity on entering this trade. Hey, good morning, Ahmed. Good to see you. Something that does come into play here in this particular trade is the following. We need to utilize our time stop rule. And the way we do that is the following. At least visually, I represent it like this. This was the candle that we got execution on. So 623.20 at 10:06, right? We have 1, 2, 3 candles that we let this trade develop for, right? Up until this blue vertical line. If we do not see the reaction that we're expecting, which is, once this UFO gets touched, we are expecting with the climate price to move down to our T1 at least. If we do not see that in the next 4 minutes, essentially, until this third candle develops, we're going to be closing this trade due to the time stop rule. Now, the time stop rule says, after the third candle of this execution, the third time candle, right? Because this is the only one that's related to time. We have to close this at break even, or if it's at a loss, try to close it at break even. If it is in profit, we're going to be closing it for profit at market. Okay, so right now we still have a few more minutes to let this develop. If there are any questions, again, I know this was executed at lightning speed, but I saw it happen right in front of us. I definitely wanted to take advantage of it because I particularly like trading the S&P quite a bit, because usually it will move to your stop or target quite quickly, so that way you can focus on whatever the next trade may be. That being said, I'm just going to just pop over to the climates window just to see if something else may be developed. Crude oil, nothing else. Hopeful shorts, hopeful longs. We do have a sensible short on natural gas. So while I have this open, I'm actually going to open natural gas. All right. And something that kind of bears repeating, and believe me, I've been caught guilty myself of this one, is checking the following out, especially when you're trading with natural gas. Definitely open up a quick browser window and just check barchart.com to make sure you're on the right contract, right? This is very important to understand that you're at the right contract. with natural gas, because these the energies, especially, they usually change, not usually, most of the time they change volume within the month that they're trading in. So as you see here, I actually have it open. You'll see that natural gas, we have open the July here, the N. However, the volume has shifted to the Q. So natural gas is on the Q. You see where the volume is, 57,000 versus 36,000 contracts being traded today. So what do? NGQ 20. Okay, it looks like TradeStation has not rolled it over there yet. So instead of the at NGQ, we're going to do NGQ 20 so we can have the tradable symbol open so we can see what's going on with the market. In the meantime, while that data loads, I just want to see what's going on with our trade on the ES. It just looks like it's just dilly-dallying there. So in about a minute's time, when this candle closes, it's most likely that we're going to have to close this trade at market. As you see, the UFO that actually was here, right? We did have a UFO that was right here, basically, has disappeared. So those orders, those unfilled orders, have been filled. All right. And we're not going against our rules. We're not going against anything that's not part of our plan. We're waiting on this candle to close in about 30 more seconds. And if we're not, chances are it will probably not reach this target down here. So we're most likely going to be closing this at market. Maybe for a couple of bucks in the plus, maybe for a couple of bucks in the minus. But ultimately, what matters is we followed our plan, we followed our rules, we executed a lightning speed trade. But obviously, it did not yield the results that we were waiting on. All right, there it is, and we're just going to close it for a small loss. And that's it. Mechanical execution. Now, I'm going to keep this chart open just in case we see a collapse down of price and then a new UFO forms right at this moving average, 31.32. At that point, we might even execute a trade at market. We might sell it at market. But for now, we're just going to keep it as it is. We close the trade. We're out of this one. Whether it goes towards our target or to our stop, it does not matter because we're out of it. Natural gas. All right, here we go. Natural gas. Actually, we have a trade on natural gas as well. We see the moving average is at 1.708. We are on candle 4 on the climate, and this is a 60-minute climate out of typically 8, right? Natural gas has been taking a beating. And we do have a UFO that's being enveloped right at this 708, 710. So what does that mean? It means that we got to place our trade here at 1708 even. And now let me just see here. So realistically speaking, and I'm just going to go over this trade together with you. Realistically speaking, the stop should be at 1711. All right, that's the right above this UFO. However, you see that it's already touching this following UFO, and actually it's in the middle of this UFO up here. So what that means is that we have to place our trade at 1717, right above these couple of UFOs. We have 5 UFOs in our favor, kind of going towards this now. And this is 9 ticks, so that's $180 that we're risking. So 9 ticks, this would be a $699. All right, so that's the entry we have it set up. In the meantime, let's see if we do have anything below, which I don't believe we do. Natural gas is basically getting hammered. There's really nothing towards the downside. I mean, I can start loading more data. It'll kind of take us a lot more time to figure it out, but from what I've seen on natural gas on the higher time frame charts, there's really nothing below to kind of give us the support that we're looking for. So what does that mean for us? That just means that we're going to be trail stopping. So instead of having this second target down here, we're actually going to cancel it, and we're going to leave it as such. Okay, and let's just rescale this. Everything's looking good there. Moving average at 1707, right? It's we're expecting it. If this, we see these green UFOs develop here, if we see kind of orders kind of move our way, kind of shoot up a little bit, we are expecting the moving average to be somewhere around 1708, 1710. I don't see it being up here to kind of minimize our risk to 1711. I definitely see it being enveloped by these first UFOs down here. All right. So that is our entry on NGQ. All right. Let's go ahead and we're going to leave that alone for now. We did have an update on the climate right now because every 15 minutes, at least on these more active contracts, and we see the ES is still confirmed near sensible short. The Dow is a hopeful short, still unconfirmed on crude oil, unfortunately. So we're going to, and let me just check TY. TY is it's a lot more small, smoother moving, but a lot slower as well. So I'm just going to close TY for now, just to save on computing power. Looking at ES, I was really expecting something. If we do see kind of a more substantial drop from here, you see prices right at its moving average. This could signal that a potential climate will change towards the upside. However, it's also likely that this will kind of dance around this price and maybe collapse down. Our job is to watch it and execute it according to our plan. Absolutely no emotions involved. And that's exactly what I do on a daily basis when I'm trading these markets. Okay, so we're just going to watch it. It's currently trading a couple of points above the moving average. So that could signal that this climate could change into an unconfirmed climate and then ultimately into an up climate. And we'll see what happens there. Let's look at NG. All right, it's a few points away. It's a few ticks away, which is not bad at all. And let me just see here. So I just want to check something here. There we go. All right. Okay. And there's that. Okay. All right. Guys, I'm not really seeing a whole bunch of activity in the chat. I just want to confirm everything's looking good. The stream is good. The quality is good. Everything's okay. You guys are with me? Just give me a little bit of a confirmation. I just want to make sure things are moving along right. There's no issues to be concerned of. Okay. All okay. Good. Hey, Leland. Good to see you. Hey, guys, I'm filling in for Jose today, so I got big shoes to fill, all right? So let me know how I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Let's just see here. What do we got? Anything else on the climates here that we're looking at? NG we already looked at. Everything else is, hopeful. The 30-year has a sensible short. It's a little bit far away, but you know what? I do want to look at it. Let me just make sure that I do have a US workspace set up. I believe I do, but let me just make sure because I just realized. Awesome, guys. Thank you for that confirmation. I appreciate it. All right, so here we go. We have the 30-year note. This does not seem right. See my workspace. So we got the 60-minute down here, the 8-minute up here, 1597 and 377 definitely does not sound right. So what does that mean? Let me just go take a look at the our time frames just to make sure we're looking at the right stuff, and then we're going to move into some Forex trades because today is a short-term trading. We like looking at Forex as well as futures. Let's see, for the US 60-minute is 1597 share bar with the 377 tick bar. Okay, no, I have that right. There we go. All right, so let's look at see what we have here. So 17. So if you haven't traded the 30-year note, it's not something that's uncommon to see. You see, Jose kind of did a funky explanation of this too. It trades in 32s, right? But on top of that, when it gets the exponential moving average number, it actually is a decimal point, right? You can kind of see where the moving average is if you kind of blow up your chart a little bit and see 176.27 seconds, right? Which is basically right here at 27.30 seconds. So, unfortunately, this UFO will not meet entry. But I believe this one might. So 176.27. So yeah, I believe this one will actually meet entry. 176.30 seconds. So even if it meets us at 31, as long as it doesn't go past this, 177 even. Okay, so Let's go ahead and see what this trade will look like visually. So it'll be at 177, 31, 30 seconds that we will be shorting. I'm sorry, 176, 31, 30 seconds. Here we go. Okay. And now our stop will actually be right above the top of this UFO, which is, yep, the 130 seconds. So now, if you have not traded this, if you have not traded this instrument before, I would definitely recommend do not trade this with live money off the bat. Okay, this is it's a very expensive instrument, right? It's not something that's that moves in like $5 ticks, right? It moves, I believe, in 30 something dollars when you have two contracts. So it definitely is not a kind of a beginner's market, so to speak. So definitely do take this with sim money if you have not traded the 30-year note. Okay, you can go to the CME website. You can kind of find out what the specs are for the contract, but definitely don't trade this as like if this is your first time trading this, definitely trade it with sim money. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on down here to see if we have any targets for this market. Okay. We do have one way down here at 174 and 230 seconds. Okay, 174 and 230 seconds, which is actually 130 seconds. So that is quite far down there. It would be it's a fantastic trade, right? You think to yourself, wow, that's so far. This is I believe a few $1,000s away. Okay, and you think to yourself, wow, that's amazing for the risk to reward ratio. But what's something that we normally see on trades that have this sort of a setup, right? It looks great, it looks fantastic, it's great, it's amazing, and then bottom line, you realize that you're actually most likely will be taking a trail stop, down, 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 and it'll just stop you at one point. Rarely do those T2s ever hit. When they do, it's really nice, but I'm just saying, from a probability standpoint, this will most definitely not happen today, I would say. But never say never, right? The market, the for some reason, the 30-year note could collapse. I mean, maybe some amazing news will hit the market and something amazing will happen and the market could collapse. And then, just to prove me wrong, right? But that being said, we are still, I keep watching it here on the matrix up top. We're still a couple of ticks away from this entry. We're looking great, right? 1708 being the entry, 1.708 being the entry, the stop being at 717. It's looking great. We just need to kind of get in this market while the climate is with us. We do have time. It's currently on candle number 4 out of typically 8. So we're definitely not late to this party. We're actually quite on time with this party. But just we need to be patient and, wait for this. We can't break our rules and say, okay, well, this is going to collapse from here. I'm taking it at market, right? You certainly can do whatever you want to do, but I'm just telling you that, from a professional trader point of view, you should not be taking trades that break your rules. You should not be taking trades that are against your rules and so on. All right, that being said, all right, here we go on the ES. See, look at that. The time stop. What did it do right now? The time stop saved us from a full stop out, right? It's much better to lose only $80 as opposed to, 325. So believe me when I tell you this, I've experienced it firsthand. Time stops work. You can definitely record them for your own statistics, and so you can see, how things are going and how it's doing for you and your trading plan. Perhaps I know that I've tested it on mine, and it really does, save me from full stop outs like this. Sometimes it does cut me short from a winning trade, but that's quite understandable. You can't just expect a great from the not great results. Okay, that is it from what I am seeing on the futures, guys. So in about 6 minutes from now, we are going to get an updated climate. So, but in the meantime, let's go and take a look at some futures trades. I'm sorry, Forex trades. Let's go ahead and open up our trading view. Let's go into the chart. All right, just a quick confirmation, guys. Please let me know if everything's still going good with the stream. This is the first time I'm doing it. I mean, my connection is pretty stable here. I don't anticipate us having any issues, but just to be sure, let me know if things are good. Just say a quick yes or okay in the chat. All right, so we are connected on Oanda. That's great. So let's see, what do we have on our climates? Do we have anything that's near sensible long? And as we see here, we do have it on the majors. The dollar CAD is here in near sensible short. So on the daily time frame, all right, so we're going to be opening that one up here. All right, and let's go. We said instead of the minors, we go to the majors. Dollar CAD. We change this on the daily, 1 day. And as you see here, we do have a confirmed climate towards the downside. Currently out of typically 5, so we're definitely not late to the party. Now for the upward one, for the here we go, the 55-minute time frame for the entry. Okay, let me just double confirm that real quick. I believe that is right when I'm looking at the Forex time frames, and yes, it is. Okay, perfect. Still a couple of ticks from getting entry on natural gas. I'm looking at it on my other screen. It's literally 2 ticks away. I believe we will get entry. I just don't want. I want to make sure that for some reason the climate doesn't change. So I'm just going to keep this open here. There we go. We're a tick away from entry. Come on, natural gas. Okay, thank you for the confirmation, Ahmed and Paul. Thank you so much, guys. There we go. We got entry. Okay, we are in this trade now, which is great. Now, something to be kept in mind as well here. The same time stop rule does apply in this situation. However, notice natural gas is an 8-minute time frame, 8-minute per candle type of market. So what does that mean? That means we're definitely going to know what happens with this trade before the end of this session, right? This is the candle we got entry on. 1, 2, all right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, kind of blow that up a little bit so it's nice and visible, nice and visual, right? So if after the close of this candle we do not have T1, we're going to be closing this trade either at break even or hopefully either a little loss or a small profit, whatever the case is, unless the trade hits the P&L down here at the $90 mark at 1,699. All right, it looks like we're getting some pull into our direction. That's good because you see it just barely touched over here. Typically speaking, I would have definitely appreciated a little bit of a deeper entry there, but a proximal touch is just as fine. As you see, the orders actually did disappear. They did get filled because of this kind of anticipated move down. All right, we're gonna let that one develop. Obviously, we're gonna keep an eye on it as it's developing. However, let's go and take a look at and see what's going on with the dollar CAD. All right, so we have the moving average is at 35.49.4. 35.4 is basically right above this UFO. So unfortunately, we do not have a trade on this one per se. Let me just check the 55-minute range, which I don't believe I have added here. 55, just making sure, 55 range. Okay. Just want to check the 55 range. That one is definitely more sensitive with smaller UFOs being provided just to see what exactly is going on with it. All right, 35.49 is here. Now, should price push up, do I see it going to about this 35.55? And I would say probably yes. All right, probably yes. And the reason why I say probably yes is because I'm not quite certain. But what I do want to do is right as price is kind of coming into this 500 area, I'm actually going to set an alert. Okay, so if it does start crossing there, I want it to notify me on the app, show a pop-up and everything as soon as it starts crossing this 35.5. All right, I don't want to place the trade just yet. because again, it really just depends on the speed of arrival. You know, how quickly it'll get here, how slowly it'll get here. You know, it really will depend on where exactly it will be. For some reason, did it not do the alert? I'm not seeing the expiration time. Okay, create. Huh. Okay, well, I should. There we go. I do have it. Okay, sorry. I'm used to seeing a little yellow line being crossed there, but it's here. So as long as it crosses there, we'll be aware of it. All right. That being said, let's see what is going on with the rest of the markets. We did have an update on the climate now. Our natural gas trade is kind of propagating. It's moving slowly, but it's there. It's in. That's what matters the most. Let's go take a look at the climates. All right. Bunch of unconfirmed climates. We skip on those. A couple of hopeful ones. We skip on those. Natural gas is still showing a sensible short, right? We did not have an update on that because it's the bottom of the hour. It's 11:30 Eastern time. Sensible short on the CAD. All right, so now we start moving into the miners. All right, since we don't have anything on the futures, we're going to move into the miners on Forex. Right, we have a hopeful short on the USD CAD on the 60-minute time frame, but that's not something that we're going to be looking at right now. Okay, let's go ahead and open up TradingView. All right, so, and I'm actually going to just, all right, so we have the Euro, Aussie. Oh, here we go. Something's flashing here. Is that an alert? No. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, I thought it was flashing an alert already, but no, it's not. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So we already went over the dollar CAD. Now into the miners we go. And let's see which one were the first couple that we saw here. So we have the Euro Aussie and the Euro New Zealand. All right, let's take a look at those. The Euro Aussie, Euro New Zealand, Euro Aussie. All right, now this is on a 240-minute time frame, so we got to change this to a 4 hour and 21 minute. All right, and let's kind of rescale this nicely. Let's see what we're working with here. So we're looking at the moving average at 1.629.23, 629.37. Okay, this I believe does meet the criteria. 629.937. Yes, it'll definitely be. It might be a little bit deeper into here, so this will definitely meet entry. Now, before we set our target up, before we set our trade up, let's just quickly look at the target. Target's looking good. Confirmed climate, 1 out of typically 8. We're not late. We're actually really early on this, which is great. We're seeing this has been in an unconfirmed climate for the past 3 candles here on the 4-hour time frame. We are looking at a confirmed down climate now. So everybody, we do have a trade. Let's go ahead and set it up. All right, so we're going to be selling, right? And when we're selling on a 4-digit, 5-digit market like this, right? What do we do with the entry? We round down. So this is actually 62. The entry is at 62,937, right? So we're going to round down, so 62.93. Okay, that's going to be the entry point for this. Now we do a take profit and stop loss. Let's just do a risk. We're going to do a $300 per trade risk. So that means the first leg will be $150 risk. Now our stop loss is above this 63,099, right? But for the stop, we actually, we still round down. Okay, for the stop, we still round down. However, we add another 7 pips for the stop. So we do 63.16, right? That will be our stop. That is a 23 pip stop here. 23 over here. That's our T1. right? Immediate, just really calculating, nothing in particular, different about that. We're gonna place that trade there. Okay, we do have a 2.9 spread because I'm using Oanda here. Jose usually typically gets better spreads because he does not use the US broker. It's a 3 pips there. So I think we'll be able to get a fill on this because I've had it a couple of times where it actually does not fill the trade, mainly because we're trying to trade within the spread. Okay, that being said, let's see here what's going on with the final target, right? The final target we said is 61,107, 61,107. So we're doing the same thing, sell limit. The entry was again 62.93, right? Take profit. Stop loss is going to remain the same as 63,160. However, our target profit will be at 61,107, right? Now for the target, what do we do here? Well, we round it down and we add 2. All right. And we place that trade, and that trade is now placed. We have that setup done here on the Euro Aussie, and this is on the 4-hour time frame with a 21-minute entry time frame. We are seeing a little bit of a pushback from this UFO down here, so hopefully it does come into play, does give us a fill. If for some reason, I just want to give you a little bit of clarity here. If for some reason, price does come here and might actually disappears, we're actually going to be, you can still definitely take this trade. It's just that the spread might have changed when the time of entry hits. So we're going to be, you can definitely take it. I might not go in, even though this is a demo account, because I'm using Oanda. That being said, I just saw that we actually got T1 on our natural gas trade within the time stop, which is great. But on top of that, something more beautiful has happened, which is what? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new UFO that has formed. And what does that mean for our trade? We move this down a tick above. And what does that mean for our overall trade? Well, this is a 100% profitable trade. So what are we doing right now, as of right now? Well, as of right now, we're just going to keep trailing, keep trailing, keep trailing. Now, something else that I want to kind of give you a bit of a perspective in, and just do this a little bit more visually, right? I'm going to draw a quick parallel line here. And remember, our stop was 9 ticks, right? Our stop was 9 ticks. So if something of the following were to happen where, this is our stop, right? We got filled right here. So if for some reason between our T1 and let's say price goes down to this 690 mark, and we do not have a new UFO below this one, we're actually going to be moving our stop to that previous location where T1 hit. This is also known as the too far, too fast rule, right? Something of the following lines could happen. This price could just shoot up, and that's fine as well. We captured our profits. We're in a definitely profitable trade. There's nothing else that we need to be worrying about here. We just need to manage this trade accordingly. We need to look at it. I would say, try to keep this window open, because this is part of intraday active management of a trade, right? You could say, if it's part of your plan, you could say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave this trade running until infinity. You could do that. But I would say the way we do it in the channel, and Jose does it, and that's the way he taught me to do it, is by actively managing these open trades. Be very aggressive and conservative with giving out profits, right? At this point, we're applying a mechanical method to protect our profits, right? We're putting a tick above this newly formed UFO, so that if price were to come here, we would expect it in a down climate to kind of, maybe hit it and kind of proceed going downward. That's kind of what we're expecting, right? So we're expecting something along the following lines to happen, right? Let's say, price were just to kind of hit here. We're also expecting price to kind of fall down. Let's say it pulls back again, falls down again. At this point, it would be really nice to see a UFO form right here, at which point this stop would have to be moved right above it, right? That's something you want to see. You want to be in the trade long enough to the point where it makes sense, right? But you also don't want to give up too much of the profit that the trade has done. All right, so what I'll do right now is I'm actually going to drag this window, this desktop, to my other screen just so I can keep an eye on it. In the meantime, though, I'm going to, I'm going to keep an eye on it just in case something new develops. But in the meantime, I want to keep going and see if we can find a couple of more trades that we were looking at earlier. So we set up the Euro Aussie, right? That one's all set up and done. The entry is here. I'm not sure if you guys want me to do a quick write up of it or not. Just let me know in the chat if you want me to go over the entry again and the setup. If not, I'll be moving on to the. It was the Euro New Zealand, I believe. It was the next one that was flashing. Euro NZD. Okay. There's the Euro NZD. What do we have on the Euro NZD? So 73.89. 73.89. Nothing there on the 21-minute time frame. Let's take a look at the range time frame. See if there's anything there. Let me just quickly rescale this properly. There we go. 73.89. Nothing to see there. Moving on to the next one, which I'm going to open up the climates window here. Now, in 4 minutes, we are going to have an update on the futures markets that we're looking at. But in the meantime, we're going to be just keeping along with the program here. So what do we have? The next one, GBPNZD. GBPNZD. Similar setup here. We actually have a UFO on the 4-hour time frame, which is really nice to see. 92.33 is where moving average is. Okay, nothing on the range time frame. Let's take a look at the 21-minute time frame. And on the 21-minute time frame, we do have a UFO, 92.33. It's a little bit in here, which is enveloped, which is perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another trade. Let's go ahead and set it up quickly before it comes in and leaves without us. So 92.308, right? We round down. So 92.30 is the entry. The stop loss is at 92.553. Again, $150 risk. And it's 1.92553 rounded down. That's 955. And we're going to add another 7 pips on top of it. 7 plus 5 is 12. So this would be 62. All right. 32 pips for the target 1. 92,300. 71 micros. Okay. Place that trade there. Sell. Let me know if I'm going too fast, guys. Please, I'm seeing the chat kind of quieted down a little bit. I'm hoping because when I'm on the viewing side of this, I'm just focusing and making sure that I don't miss on anything. But if you do want me to kind of slow down a little bit, please let me know. All right. I just want to make sure we don't miss out on any opportunities that we have here. 150 risk. 32 is the pip stop. The final target will be down at 1.89564, right? But when we're getting this as a basically as a target, we just add 2 more. So 89.56 plus 2 is 8. All right, so that's a 272. All right, put that on as well. All right, we have the GBP NZD also placed as well. Again, just kind of giving you a bit of a full disclosure here. If for some reason I don't get filled and price comes in here, that's mainly because, as you see here, the spread is actually 6 pips here. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't get filled, but you never know. It may be the case where I don't get filled. All right. How's it going so far, guys? We actually put on quite a few trades so far. Pretty active day today. I hope everybody's following through. Everything's okay. I'm just looking at that chat. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of chatter. All right. Just checking in here. Yep, there we go. For months, sometime when I put a first target trade in and then a final target trade in, my OANDA trade canceled the first trade out. Is your action time? So Furman, so you mean when you place the first sell and then the second sell cancels the first one? That, if you're trading it live, that could be due to margin. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. But if you're trading it on demo, then that should not be happening. I can't think of a reason why that would be happening. So I would definitely say maybe reach out to Oanda and tell them, hey, how come when I execute trades, the first one gets canceled, the second one goes in? Miguel, yeah. So this is on. So the top one is the 21-minute time frame, and the bottom one is the 4-hour time frame. So the bottom one is the one that gives us the auto climate, the direction of trades we need to be looking for. The entry point where we need this moving average from the 4-hour to be overlapped with a UFO on the 21-minute. Yeah, for a month. So I would say that might be due to margin, but check it out and see what type of margin you get from Moanda. If I'm not mistaken, if you're in the US, I think the most that we can get is like 1 to 20, which is really bizarre because a lot of the European and non-US brokers give you 1 to 500. So, but that's a story for another time. All right. We did have a climate update on the futures. I'm looking at it here, guys. Not a whole lot has happened, unfortunately, for you futures traders. We have an unconfirmed climate on the euro, the crude oil. ES is also an unconfirmed, but changed to actually a sensible long. So that's something that's new, right? We did anticipate something like this happening. It's not surprising, right? That being said, our natural gas trade is still kind of, again, natural gas, sometimes when it moves, boy, does it move. But sometimes, it's a little bit slower than typical. We see it actually just touched our, our first defensive ally UFO, as we call them, right? It just touched it and it's pulled back a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me that it did go, like I said earlier, if it did go a little bit deeper into it, and maybe cancel it out and then potentially test this bottom again, right? So that's kind of what I really would like to see. I have to tell you guys, a lot of times it's actually pretty scary, and you might think to yourself, wow, that's crazy. It's pretty scary when sometimes you enter a trade and you see the trade just shoot down with lightning speed to your T1 and maybe, nicely deeply in the profit. To me, that means that I need to be on my toes. I need to be aggressive with my profit taking, because a lot of times that's an unsustainable, price movement. When price kind of moves nicely and gradually towards, in profit, it's much nicer to see, as opposed to a violent move. It might be, it might make you feel all warm and fuzzy because you're going to see this gold bar go way down here, and and thinking to yourself, wow, I'm making so much money. But to me, that's a kind of a call of to action, because I need to be very aggressive with my profit taking. Because what typically happens on a movement like that is, when something rapidly moves down, typically it also rapidly moves back up. So you definitely don't want to give up all those profits just because this happens so quickly. Matter of fact, you need to be ready. And the way I kind of do that is, I kind of have this horizontal line here left at 169 flat, right? So if price touches down here and no new UFO develops, I know that I will be taking my stop market and entering it down here at the 699 where we exited for a T1. Okay, just sharing a little bit of wisdom there, because I've seen it both ways. I've seen it jerk towards my stop. I've seen it jerk towards my profit. It's never fun to see that, but you need to be quick to action when things like that happen. All right, Paul, find the GBPNZD spreads a little too rich, but have placed the Euro Aussie order. Thank you. Okay, yeah, no problem, Paul. Yeah, I have them all placed, and you're right. I mean, a 6-point spread, it's just, it's a little bizarre. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if price does come to where it is, the ask comes to where it is here, I'm pretty sure Wanda will actually not take me on this trade, because look at these. They shoot up as far as 7. I mean, that's a little crazy, right? It's just a little crazy. But it is what it is. That's what we're working with here. You know, I'm actually working on getting myself set up with a different Forex data provider, because you know these kinds of spreads, even for demo trading, is a little bizarre. Okay, I just want to make sure, did we get filled on anything? And I don't believe we did. Some of them are inactive, some of them are working. I think maybe. Oh, actually, no. We did place. I believe we only did 2 trades that we placed. The dollar CAD we only put an alert on. Yeah, that's right. All right. So this is coming very close to entry here. Just taking a quick glance over at the. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Taking a quick glance over at the TradeStation workspace. Just wanted to see how we're looking there. Nothing new has developed. I'm going to move it back up. All right. So, you know, let's take a breather. And looking at the Forex timeframes, right? Nothing could change because they're mostly 60, 240, and daily timeframes. So we're not going to have an update until the top of the hour, which is going to be in 10 minutes. The Euro Aussie, we already looked at. Euro New Zealand, we looked at. Pound New Zealand, we looked at. Aussie Franc, that's a new one that we didn't look at, I believe. Let's see the Aussie Franc. Aussie Franc is a sensible long. Okay, this is also on the 240 minute. 65, 518 is the moving average, right? We see that here. 65, 517 now. Price is at 65, 637. So should price drop down, 65.17 would be here somewhere. Actually, no, it would be, I'm sorry. It'll actually be here. So should price drop down, I believe it could meet entry down here at the 65.067. But again, that's a little far. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the dollar CAD. I'm actually going to put an alert here as 65. I'm going to put an alert as 65.150. 65.150. Okay. I'm going to create that alert and leave it open there for a bit. You know, because there's a good chance that this won't get there just that quickly. You know, it might come in here into this 65, 437. Wait a minute. Did I do that right? 65, 612. 5. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That's a mistake. No, this UFO will work. For some reason, that's a mistake. Let's delete that one. Yes. The price is at 65, 625. The moving average will actually be right enveloped right by this UFO. So the Aussie Swiss is also a trade. You know, similar situation with this one. I'm going to say the spread. Oh, actually, no, the spread's pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and put this buy in. 65, 522. 65, 655, 22 is the top of that UFO. Now, when we're buying, remember, we round up. So this would be at 65, 23, and we add another 2 pips for entry. So this would be at 65.55. The ask being negative 65 from there, $150 risk. Okay, the stop loss would be at, you know, below 65. See, there you go. Order placed, and then order 186 canceled, executed. So see, so, you know, that's the thing with GBP. Let's go ahead and set this up, and we'll look at that one in a bit. It's not uncommon to see that, guys. Unfortunately, those are the tools that I have available for me at my disposal. You know, maybe next time I present, I'm gonna try to get Jose's account and try to execute on those, because I am sure the spreads will be much less. Because when you have the pro feeds from different brokers, you're definitely looking at much better spreads. Okay, just to kind of give you a confirmation there. Let's go ahead and set this one up. So we're looking at the stop being at 64.22. Okay, 65422. Now for the entry for our stop, we round it down 65.42, and we add another 5 pips below, so that's going to be at 37. Okay. All right. So there we go. 18 with 18. That's our trade there. 65.55. Even. Place that trade. It's a little bit above the UFO, but that's because, remember, there's 2 charts here that we're looking at, the bid and the ask. So, we're trying to capture this movement because, it typically happens where price ends up going to your entry, but doesn't trigger until way later down here. So if we want to get triggered somewhere around this 65.522, that's why we do the rounding up and then adding a couple of pips for entry. Okay, we have the stop set. Now let's go ahead and look at where our final target will be. For that, we're going to turn on the AutoUFOs on the 4-hour time frame and see where we have, I'm sorry, they must have been turned on. There we go. And our target is way up here at 67,138. All right. So again, 65.55, take profit, stop loss 18. However, our target will be 67,138. Now, for the we same thing here. We round down and add another 2 pips. So this will be at 67.15, 160 pip move. All right. And that's it. Ooh, I know why some of this might be entry met on the Euro Aussie. All right. Thank you, Paul. Let's go look at the majors. The Euro. Where is it? The Euro. Hold on. I'm like, wait a minute. What's happening here? The Euro Aussie. All right. See, it's very close. It's actually right on it, but I'm still not filled. And I just want to make sure. I think this might be see, I do have a position on this one on GBPNZD, and I believe it might be because my margin available. Oh boy. All right, let's see if we can do this very quickly. I forgot that I actually reset my margin to just 5,000, but here we are placing trades that are quite a bit more. In the meantime, let's take a look at GBPNZD, which I guess did trigger, which is nice. All right, so it did trigger. It's moving a little bit against us, which is, it's expected. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Okay. We have our stop loss a little bit above 92.62. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to try to log into my Oanda account, see if I can increase the margin. Okay. Let me just quickly try to do this as best as I can, as fast as I can. All right. There we go. Manage. Sorry about that, guys. I probably could have done this a little sooner. I didn't realize. Let's go ahead and add proceed. All right, there we go. And magic, we have $55,000 available at our disposal. If only it was that easy in real life, right? GBP USD. Okay, let's look at that one. GBP USD. Okay, this might have been one of the ones that got canceled for me. Let's see. Nope. I don't see it. GBP USD. I don't believe we looked at GBP USD, did we? It's a sensible long on across the board here on the climates. However, I don't believe we looked at this one for an entry, did we? Could be mistaken, but I don't see it as a order unless it got canceled. See, these two did get canceled for me. The Euro Aussie and the Aussie Franc. I am filled on the GBPNZD though. And that's that position that's currently working right now. And I do have the Euro Aussie still showing here, but I don't believe we have a fill yet, the Euro Aussie. Here's the Euro Aussie. Top of the hour, guys. Let's see. Just check this one out. I did not get filled. It's already moved a little bit away, which is, it's nice for those of you that did take it. But as you see, I did not get filled on it. Did anybody get filled on Euro Aussie yet? If you guys could just confirm in the chat, that'd be great. If not, that's okay. I mean, this is technically still a valid entry. Yeah, for a month. So there you go. It actually happened to me too. Even though I'm on a demo account here, I did not get filled because it got canceled because of margin availability. So definitely see what you can do to either increase the margin on the trade or not. Let's just take a look at our natural gas trade. If I'm not mistaken, it did. Yep, it did cancel it out. So there we go. We did have it did see that it reversed with a big move up, which is something that's expected here, and we got canceled out on this trade. All right, guys, that's it. That's yeah, we're at the top of the hour here at the end of this session. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or any comments or anything, please feel free to send it to support@tradictive.com. That being said, hope you enjoyed the session. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.